the reason why the law of attraction is not working for you, or the affirmations, the visualizations, is because you are probably coming from a place of lack. You are driven by fear. You are driven by your ego. Your ego is saying to you that this may never happen, so what's the point? Your ego is saying to you that there's not enough to go around. There's not enough money to go around. That if you that when you're asking God, or when you're asking Allah for help, when you're asking Allah to give you money, to make you a success, you are doing it from a place of lack. Deep down inside, you don't believe that it's going to happen. Deep down inside, you believe that Allah is not going to answer your prayer, that this manifestation thing is not going to work, that these affirmations are not going to work, that it's not going to work. Your mind is stuck in fear. The way for you to attract what you want, to live the life of your dreams, to make the money that you want, is to first believe it. It's to first believe that Allah will give it to you. It's to first believe that Allah is abundant. I speak with so many people, like my clients, they all have money issues. They have a poverty mindset. They believe that if they make money, that means someone is going poor. If they increase their fees, it's that their client will be going poor, because they have a poverty mindset. Most of us have poverty mindsets. We were all indoctrinated to believe that money is bad. But Allah says that it's not money that's bad. It's the hoarding of money. Money itself is not bad. It's a blessing. Because back in the day, we used to barter for goods. We had to, if you wanted my grapes, if you wanted some grapes of me, you had to go find some bananas to come and trade it with me. And then obviously as consumerism got more, it was hard to keep that intact. It was hard to barter. That's why money came along, for us to, have some kind of ease and peace and tranquility. So when you are trying to make more money in your business, when you're trying to make more money in your life, maybe you're trying to, step up the career ladder, maybe you're trying to get a promotion, whatever it is, whatever you want more of, if you don't believe that Allah is going to give it to you, you will not get that, because you attract what you think about. Allah says in the Quran, you reap what you sow. Your thoughts plant seeds. Your thoughts, your actions, everything starts with a thought. Your thoughts plant seeds, and your seeds start to grow. And either you grow good fruits or you grow bad fruits. But it all started with your thought. So if you believe that Allah is not going to give you what you want, that's exactly what you're going to get. You are not going to get what you want. You're going to attract bad, toxic things, poverty, debt. You're going to keep attracting that, because you deep down inside don't believe that Allah is going to give it to you. But if you plant seeds of goodness and you think good of Allah, like Allah says, I am as my slave thinks of me. If you think Allah is good, you will get just that. Everything that happens in your life, you will realize that it's for your own good. But when you come from a place of like, Allah doesn't want me to be successful, Allah doesn't want good for me, that's exactly what you'll get in your life. You attract everything in your life. Just like the hadith, the most famous hadith says that you get what you intend. If a man intends to get married to a wife, he will get exactly that. Your thoughts become things. That's what that hadith means. Whatever you put out in the world, whatever intention you put out in the world, through your affirmations, through your visualization, through your du'as to Allah, through your prayers, through your meditation, whatever you put out in the world, you will get that back. So you need to take 100% responsibility for your mind and the way you think. You need to take 100% responsibility for this, because no one else is going to take responsibility for it. You need to take 100% responsibility for what goes on in here. The images you have in there, the words you have in there, how you talk to yourself. You are 100% responsible for that. And it reminds me of Habil and Qabil. The story of Habil and Qabil, Adam alayhi salam's sons. Now, they were twins, so they had a twin. So Habil had a sister and Qabil had a sister. It came to the time where the brothers wanted to get married. So Allah told Adam alayhi salam to allow his son to get married to the opposite twins. So Habil will get married to Qabil's sister, and Qabil will get married to Habil's sister. Now the problem was, Qabil found his sister more beautiful than Habil's sister. I know this sounds a bit icky, okay? But this is how we all came to pass, okay? This is how generations were created. In the beginning, they were getting married to their sisters, okay? Habil didn't mind, but Qabil wanted to get married to his own sister. So Adam alayhi salam wanted peace. He wanted peace amongst the family. So he asked Allah, what should I do? Allah told Adam, tell your son to go and make a sacrifice. And the best sacrifice, no, actually Allah didn't say that. He said, tell your sons to sacrifice. And the sacrifice that is accepted, Allah will send a flame down. Okay? So look at it, look at these two perspectives. Qabil was mad, he was annoyed. Inside himself, he was just feeling so annoyed, thinking, what's the point of this? Like, why am I doing this? This is so stupid. If I want to marry my sister, I'll just go do it. What's the problem? He was coming from a place of lack. Whatever he was thinking before he gave his sacrifice, he was already in a place of lack. And that's why he gave some dead plants as a sacrifice. He still gave something, but it was just some dead plants. Allah wasn't specific about what sacrifice he wanted, but Qabil thought it was sufficient enough to give some dead plants. Habil, on the other hand, had more certainty and more faith in Allah. He gave the sacrifice with ease, with happiness, with comfort, with trust in Allah, and he gave the best she-camel or a goat. Both gave something. Both put in the effort to give something as a sacrifice. Now, whose sacrifice do you think was accepted? Habil's, of course. Not because of what he gave, because of the intention behind it and the way he was offering his sacrifice. Because remember, both of them still gave something. It's not like Qabil didn't give anything. It's not like Qabil went off and said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. He still gave something. But it's his intention and his attitude towards it. And I find so many of us do this. I've done it myself. I'm guilty of it myself. When I'm making dua just for the sake of it. Oh, yeah, Allah, just give me this. Yeah, okay, like, you know, being very blasé about it, being very like in a state of like, it's not going to happen. Allah's not going to give it to me, so what's the point? But I'm just going to make dua to make myself feel better. I've done it myself, and I know you've done it as well. You've done it from a place of lack, that Allah is not going to give it to me, but I'm just going to say it so I can tell myself that I said it and prove to myself that Allah doesn't want to give it to me. Do you see that? And it reminds me of the hadith where Allah says that the worst ones, I think the Prophet ﷺ said, the worst of people are those who make dua, they keep making dua, and they're not patient with it, and then they say, well, Allah, I made dua, you don't want to give it to me, so fine. Those are the worst of people. That you make dua from a place of lack, from a place of Allah is not going to give it to me. How can, when you actually think of it, Allah is so abundant. He is limitless. He is the source of everything. To the point that there's 7 billion, over 7 billion. We do not know how many people there are on this earth, okay? They say there's 7 billion. I believe there's more people on this earth, and we just don't know. It's impossible to count how many people are on this earth, right? But the fact that there's so many people on this earth and we are not bumping into each other, we're not living in close quarters, we have space, we travel and you see mountains and you see areas of land that have never been touched, never been explored. It's proof that Allah's world is abundant. So much so there's so many people in this world that the oxygen is not running out. We are still able to breathe and live. Even the water and the seas are still rising, the water is still rising, the water is still there. Despite the fact that the sun rises every single day, the water is still there. These are all signs and proof that Allah's world is abundant. And just like He made the world abundant, He can give you whatever you want. But you have to believe it. Just like Allah says, I am as my slave thinks of me. If you think good of Allah, only good can come your way. And even if you struggle, even if you go through the bad times, you could come out of it quicker. Because you have full faith that Allah is teaching you something. He is helping you grow. He is building you for what you want. Allah doesn't test you for the sake of it. He tests you to build your character. He tests you so that when you get what you want, when you finally get your du'as answered, you're ready for it. You're strong, you're motivated, you're resilient. So that when you do finally get what you want, you can accept it and look after it, just like a gift. When you get that gift finally, you are able to look after it because you've been thinking about it for so long. It's the same when you struggle, when you go through those mishaps, when you go through like a low point in your life. It's because Allah is building you to see how much you really want it, to see how much you really want to manifest your dreams, to see how much you really want to build that business,